Browns 23-20 losers here at Huntington Bank Field against the Bills. They are now 3-12. They play Pittsburgh next week. And let's start with Shedeur Sanders. Mary Kay, you just put up a column on Shedeur. You were very encouraged by what you saw from the Browns rookie quarterback today.
I really was. I thought he showed a lot of moxie, a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, mobility, elusiveness. He had a couple of Houdini acts there on one drive where he converted a couple of third downs. So I really thought he took some steps forward, unlike last week against the Bears, where he took a couple of steps backwards. In this game, I thought he added to the plus side of the ledger when it comes to trying to talk the Browns out of drafting a quarterback in the first round in April. So he still has 2 more chances, but he helped himself today.
One of the things he talked about this week, Ashley, was taking completions, right? And I think he did that a lot today. Now, look, there were a few moments that I'm sure he'd like to have back. There were 2 interceptions. I don't know how much we want to put on him for the one that bounced off Quinshon's hands. A couple sacks, obviously, took that intentional grounding. But we're seeing these just little by little, these signs of him starting to put all these lessons together that he's had to learn over these few weeks.
Yeah, think he was 8 for 8 before that first interception that bounced off Quinshon Judkins' hands. He started off so strong in this game, and I thought was looking for some of those, those easier quote-unquote plays. Now, I think the next step, we always talk about the next step with Shedeur, but it's to not get too lost in that so the interception, like the second interception, doesn't happen, because it seems like that's what did. He was so focused on that check down and looking for that he didn't see Joey Bosa with his hands up, and that's what ultimately caused that turnover, was when he batted that ball. So, again, I agree with Mary Kay. I think today was a great step forward for him.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Quinshon Judkins, because he is out for the season. Fractured fibula, dislocated ankle on a hit from Matt Milano on a swing pass from Shedeur Sanders, just under the 2-minute warning in the first half. And Mary Kay, Quinshon, of course, was having such a great rookie season. He was leading all rookie rushers in yards, I believe 5th in Browns history for rookie rushers with 805 rushing yards. But now his season is over. But if there is a silver lining, a source told you that he would miss about 4 to 5 months, which would put him back on the field in spring and certainly in training camp.
Right, which I think that's great news. When we first saw that injury, because we're here live, we saw what the foot looked like when it was pinned the wrong way on the field, and it was pretty gruesome. And when you see something like that, you really have to wonder how long it's going to take somebody to get back. But again, I was told it's a 4 to 5 month injury. It's, in a situation like this, about the best case scenario for what it could have been. And that possibly puts him back on the field at some point in the offseason program in the spring.
Yeah, and the nice thing is they could potentially slow play him in the spring. They don't have to rush him back, and then he could be full go for training camp. So, Ashley, I think one of the things, him and Joel Bitonio, of course, are locker mates, and they seem to kind of relish sharing knowledge with each other. And I know Quinshon loves getting that knowledge from Joel. Just talking to his teammates, they're so impressed with his work ethic and what he's done, and there's no doubt in their minds that he'll be back strong.
Yeah, it seems like even that was the consensus in the locker room immediately after an injury like this happened. And when injuries like this do happen, they can be hard, and you typically see emotional reactions. But it felt like kind of across the board, everyone was like, yeah, Quinshon's going to come back stronger from this. And to Mary Kay's point about it being the best case scenario, I think it would have been worse, obviously, had it been a knee or like torn ligaments in his knee. Obviously, everyone remembers what that was like for Nick Chubb to go through. So easy to see this is a different story for sure.
Now, the Myles Garrett sack record story. It is going to go for another week. He is now a half sack away from tying the record, a full sack away from breaking the record of 22.5. This one was a journey. A sack that was originally credited to Mason Graham got changed to a half sack between Myles Garrett and Alex Wright after they determined that Josh Allen gave himself up. The short part of this, though, Mary Kay, the shorthand is another week of Myles Garrett sack watch.
That's right. And a 4th sack story by me that I have to write before the game next week. So getting a little old on that one. But next week, of course, he's got Aaron Rodgers. And it's never easy to sack Aaron Rodgers. Talk about a quick game. So that's going to be a little bit difficult to get. Maybe he'll give himself up and Myles will get the sack that way, the way that he kind of did today. But he's inching along. He's got one more to go, and it's probably either going to come next week or the week after against the Bengals, but it will come.
Yeah, and Ashley, we could see today the Bills were very intentional about this. They were rolling Josh Allen away from Myles Garrett. Of course, they had their run game going, especially in the first half, and that ball was coming out pretty quick, with the exception of that one play that did eventually get credited, at least in part, to Myles.
Yeah, and look, I think it helped. The Bills were able to get going on the ground early in this game. They had 133 rushing yards in the first half. Now, the Browns defense rebounded. I believe they only gave up 31 or something total in the second half, so it was better. But Josh Allen and this Bills offense and James Cook made it very difficult on Myles Garrett to get that play. And to Mary Kay's point about Aaron Rodgers, I thought it was funny. Myles even already brought up Aaron Rodgers and how difficult it is to sack him in his post-game press conference today. So he knows this is a big ask to try to seal this record next week.
Okay, well, we get another week of Myles Watch, and of course you can follow along at cleveland.com/Browns.